Greetings to the Conscious Collective. Today we are on early. I know I said I would be on around 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, but I decided to jump on now because I have a very busy schedule today, and I wanted to make sure that I did talk about Neptune direct, which is the transit that we're currently in. So I hope everyone is doing well. Uh, we probably won't be on that long, but we will cover some things. I've decided to put some other things, actually, the complete reading on the Patreon page. And so on the Patreon page, you will actually find the crystals and the colors and the chakra that is most related to Neptune direct. I'm trying to bring up this video so I can kind of get a feedback of myself. Uh, so let's see if I am live, since I am on early. So give me 1 second. Okay, everything looks fine. So, but as I was saying, I decided to put everything, the complete reading, on the Patreon page. And so when we do these transits, it is about, because you are a seed of the star, and that's why we refer to ourselves as star seeds, because you are connected to the universe, right? These transits are extremely important to maneuvering and um, getting guidance in your life journey path, especially for star seeds. We leave planetary horoscope reading to guidance. Let them deal with that if they're just focused strictly on their planetary horoscope. But star seeds look beyond that. We look into a broad, a universe where we feel our consciousness and our traits come from. And that's what's more important, is our consciousness and our eternal being, as opposed to our temporary forms here that may have been born on a particular planetary sign. So we look more towards the universe for our guidance. So we're doing Neptune direct today, and how Neptune is going to affect starseed energy. We're on a little early. We don't have a lot to go over. We have some messages from, and I should just bring them up really quickly. We're going to be dealing with the Pleiadians and the messages from the Pleiadians today in regards to Neptune direct. And we're going to be dealing with the Andromedas. And these are two of the star seeds that we will be focused on today as Neptune goes direct. So we're going to get into the general reading around that. Again, you'll be able to find the full reading on the Patreon page. And the Patreon page will go more into the crystals that are needed to help you navigate this transit. Also, the colors that you should be wearing to help bring that energy, and the chakras. Chakras are extremely important in our starseed journey. Chakras are where we hold a lot of energy that blocks our divine connection to source as we become one with source. So we need to work with our chakras. So these energy transits are here to help us. They usually bring and reveal certain things that we can work on, and then they also give us encouragement, and along with connecting us with our starseed family. So I'm gonna go over again to really quickly. We're gonna be getting the messages from the Pleiadians, and also a quick message from the Andromedas. All right. So let's go through it really quickly. Right. This is the veil thinning. This is your soul coming to a remembrance when Neptune goes direct. Now, when we say direct, we mean that it is visually. It looks like it's going correctly visually. When it's in retrograde, it looks like it's going backwards. That's the easiest way to remember that, right? So when Neptune goes direct, the psychic fog begins to lift, not in a sharp, dramatic snap, but like dawn dissolving a dream. One of my favorite times, or two times of the day, are dusk and dawn. I like that transition. I mean, I like the evening, I like the day, but the transition is something that really resonates with me. All right. This transit restores your intuition, your imagination, and your spiritual clarity and the ability to see beyond your ordinary perception. Too many times we rely on our visual eyes so heavily as opposed to our more eternal being eye, our third eye. We could avoid a lot of things if we rely more on our intuition, more rely on our inner guidance and our connection to source. But we get so caught up in this world, which is what the world wants you to do, is to get grounded in this world so you can avoid that spiritual growth that elevates you, right? So this trance is going to restore your intuition, your imagination, and your spiritual clarity, and the ability to see beyond your ordinary perception. For Starseed, it acts like a tuning fork, recalibrating your inner sense so you can hear the subtle frequencies you previously ignored or doubt. We hear, I try to stay in total attunement with the universe. I think I mentioned before that if I see a dragonfly, especially if I see 2 or 3 dragonflies, I need to figure out what the universe is trying to tell me, if there's a message in there. Maybe it's not, but I try to stay attuned. The other day I was in the store and I walked past this lady, Caucasian lady, in all red. Right? Notable. She's in all red. Walked past her, right? And then because I was going to the bathroom, and as I came back from the bathroom, I walked past her again in another aisle, right? And I'm like, okay, that's 2 times, right? And then in a different location. And then as I finished what I had to do in the store and I left out of the store, she was leaving the store too, dressed in all red. All right. So I think there's a message there. I need to look it up, but the universe is trying to tell me something. But that's how attuned I try to stay with trying to see beyond the 2 eyes and use the third eye, the intuition, or any guidance. You see, a lot of times religious doctrine says, oh, well, God spoke to me and he told me this. What language? Your language? God speaks in your language, right? Or the Lord gave me a message. I'm sure that could be done. But wouldn't it be more likely that you will receive message and guidance from how divine source creates, how divine source presents the world to us? We are so disconnected from the world that we don't understand that is the message in the world. That is how God communicates with us I did a video yesterday about churches and how we build these monuments to churches, which separates us from source, because source never made a church. God never made a church. Those are men inventions. God never made a building. God could have made a building, made a planet, made people, made trees, could have made a building if need be, all right, but didn't. It made how it exists. In the trees, in the leaves, in the sun rising, in the dust, in the morning, in the grass growing. That is how God communicates. It's funny that we just ignore that and just say, oh, well, God wants a building. God talks to us in buildings. So my point is that we need to be more in tune to how the universe speaks. And this transit is one example of how we are integrated in the universe. We are children of the stars, and we're going to have videos on that. I had definitely some downloads I received through my research, and I want to share with the collective that we need to have a better understanding of how we're connected to divine source. So as this Neptune direct reawakens your deeper memory, let's say that again, Neptune direct reawakens your deep memory, your soul gifts, and your connection to those unseen realms, the parts of you that modern earthlight often buries. And we just spoke about that. All this is a distraction. The buildings you go into, right? The denial of your divine self, the denial of your eternal being, all of it. You will, this stuff will pass away, but you are eternal, right? What you think is real is all fake, right? There is an eternal you, and that's the one you need to get more connected to, right? And so during this transit, Neptune direct is going to connect you more with that. And we're going to be talking about messages from two of the very prominent starseeds during this communication. And this is Andromeda starseed that we're going to be talking about, getting a message from the Andromedas and a message from the Pleiadians. All right. The deal is that these are characteristic traits and energies that a lot of us resonate with us. We're not strictly, like I'm a Blu-ray starseed. That's the one I'm most prominent with in this reincarnation of myself. Okay. But I do have other starseed traits in me, and they do have messages to give to me. So whatever starseed that you are, right, you will have other starseeds that you relate to. You need to really discover your starseed type. I know everybody knows that I'm a Gemini, I'm a Libra, I'm a Leo. Those are planetary. Those are your planetary signs. That's the position of certain stars when you were born. But your eternal sign, right, is your soul calling, what you resonate with, your traits and your characteristic. And a lot of times people misunderstand and say, well, you guys think you're aliens. No, it's no. If you're a Gemini, I don't think I'm two people. I have two mindset traits, okay, but I'm not two people. If I'm a Leo, I'm not I think a Leo's a lion. I'm not a lion. That's what starseeds are. Starseeds are characteristics and traits, and they help us in understanding things. See, the things about a lot of times we're humans, and I call them, a lot of this come from Gaians. And if you knew what Gaians are, you need to check out my video on what Gaians are, right? They're like stock. They're non-players in this matrix, right? And a lot of times they're like, well, I'm a Pisces, and a Pisces this and this and that. I have a belief that your signs are your guidance on things that you need to work on, right? A lot of people say, well, if I know if I'm a Gemini and I know I have two minds on a lot of things, I need to be very clear on how I'm explaining things. They're not something for me to actually celebrate. They're actually challenges and lessons for me to work on. And so when we look at our starseed signs, these are the guidance that we need to maneuver and navigate in this plane of existence. So where were we at, right? This transit is especially important. We're talking about the Neptune direct transit for the Pleiadian starseeds and Andromeda starseeds. I told you we're going to be talking about that. We're going to receive a message from them who resonate with Neptune's ethereal, psychic, and heart center vibration. So let's get to the message with the Pleiadians first. All right. Now, one of the main characters in our theology in Western culture is Jesus. All right. I tried to explain so many times that Jesus was nothing. Yes, I said that, was nothing without the title, the Christ. Okay. Just like if you look at President Obama, just say Obama, Hussein Obama, I think that's his name, right? Just an ordinary guy, no, just an ordinary. But when you make him the president, the title is important, okay? The title is where the authority comes from. When you look at Donald Trump is just a person. Donald Trump, the president, the presidency gives him his power. So when we look at Jesus, right, you have to add the Christ to it, because the Christ is where the authority and the power comes from. All right. So it's Jesus, the Christ. The consciousness is what matters, not the human being, but the actual consciousness is what's important. And so we like to say that a lot of Christ's teachings, right, Jesus' teachings had Pleiadian characteristics and traits, how the Pleiadians operate. So we consider Christ's consciousness of being a Pleiadian characteristics and traits, all right, that portaled into our plane of existence. It is so sad that most people think that this is all there is. This is all there is. There's no other planes of existence. There are no other aliens or extraterrestrials out there. There's nothing. Just because you don't see it, you don't see the wind, but you know it. You see the effect of it, right? Your eyes cannot perceive the molecules moving, but you see the effect of. They're more to what we perceive, right? So we have to actually delve deeper into understanding. These things eventually become realized because our technology actually grows and we become more developed. And then you find out a lot of these things are true. They're actually receiving radio signals from some asteroid that's shooting through the universe right now. You won't hear a lot of that because we're so grounded in our Earth worries. A lot of this stuff just goes over our head. It's not important, Bob. It's not. It is extremely important because it helps you navigate and maneuver on this plane of existence. So as we look at the Pleiadian seeds, the return to the heart of knowing, this transit activates Pleiadians governing their intuition, their compassion, unity, and your higher emotional intelligence. During this transit, with that Pleiadian trait is going to start kicking in a little bit. All right, you're going to start seeing things a little deeper. All right, you're going to have more emotional intelligence during this transit. All right, everything Neptune rules. When Neptune turns direct, Pleiadian starseeds feel a strong pull to trust your inner voice, soften back into love and spiritual receptiveness, right? I said earlier that these traits are in all of us to some lesser degree. If you're really leaning into your Pleiadian, right, you may feel this more strongly. If you're not as a Pleiadian characteristic and trait, it is not as strongly felt, but you can still benefit from it, right? So you remember that the original mission, you're going to remember your original mission. We all have a purpose and mission as we come into this plane of existence. It wasn't to work at Mickey D's. It was not to get rich. It was not to have children and fight over sports teams. All distractions. You came here with a purpose and a mission. Starseeds feel this acutely. People ask me why I'm not interested in sports. I'm not. The only thing I'm interested in is this right here, what I'm doing. It is a drive. I'm not being paid for this, but I feel that I need to connect with my Starseed family and aid them in their life journey. So this is a time you're going to feel yourself coming back to what you're really meant to do. What is your real purpose here, right? And remember that emotional healing and awakening. We like to say a lot of starseeds are awakened. This comes from that energy like, oh, wow, maybe there's something I'm supposed to do here. Maybe there's something that's important that my soul contract called for. See, they want you to ignore all that. Right? And then be worried about what? Working a job, right? Worried about, dieting, worried about, who said what to who, as opposed to your purpose and your mission. This transit helps them reconnect with their heart-based telepathy and their lineage is known for. Pleiadians, again, I said one of the prime examples of Pleiadians was Jesus the Christ. Jesus Christ, if you want to shorten it, but Jesus was just the name of a man. Christ was the energy, the Christ consciousness that became important. That's what became important. You too can be of Christ consciousness. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. All right. Saying that we should take the message and not worry about the man, but take the message and live it in our everyday life. What was the message? Please put down in the chat, what was the message of Christ consciousness? We have forgotten that. So let's look at this message that we received from the Pleiadian collective. Each starseed has a collective ruling body. And maybe I should go over that. All right. But not only you being a starseed of a certain characteristic and traits, you also have a collective governing body, and these messages are from those collective bodies. So let's look at the Pleiadian one first. Beloved one, you are remembering what you have forgotten. Do not fear your sensitivity. It is your navigation. As Neptune clears the waters, you will see that your intuition was always correct. Let emotional truths rise gently. Let your heart lead now. That is the message from the Pleiadian starseeds to their, I want to say, other Pleiadian starseeds, but we all have certain of these starseeds within us. So if that message resonates with you, please take it and allow it to guide you through your life. Let's move on to the Andromedas, the Andromeda starseeds. All right. I've talked earlier why a lot of these starseeds have melanin nation in their skin. That's how it is actually anchored into this reality. The trauma that a lot of melanated people experience actually anchors starseeds energy. And we talked about that in some of my videos. So a lot of starseeds are very melanated. Not all of them are, but a lot of them are very melanated. And I explain why, because of the trauma, historical trauma, and things that they go through. You even was said that, like, through a lot of religious teachings, they didn't go to the rich. They didn't go to the higher of our plane resistance. They actually connected with the lower, the people more downtrodden or oppressed. And it's a reason for that, because that energy anchors more securely, in the lattice of people that are under the most pressure. Let's leave it at that. All right. So as a Andromeda star seeds, you're going to be decoding the infinite, and this transit activates you on your cosmic intelligence, your deep spiritual system, dream work, and multidimensional travel. So you may be experiencing a lot. If you have a lot of Andromeda star seeds in you, you may be having a lot of weird dreams. A lot of weird dreams are going on. Even if you have some Andromeda starseed in you, you may be experiencing it too. But a lot of weird dreams are going on, because that's where this starseed energy is resonating the most during this time, right? You're going to be able to code symbols, and your higher mind is going to be switched back online. So as you go through this Neptune transit as Andromeda starseed, that higher mindset starts to snap back into a higher consciousness. All right. So you're going to be experiencing a lot more astral experiences. So like I said, in your dreams, they're very weird. You're traveling into strange places. You're seeing strange things, because this Neptune direct energy is bringing that trait more out of you. Okay. All right. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments. Please let me know. You know how to reach out to me. All right. Prophetic dreams. Take note of your phonetic dreams. All right. What you are dreaming is coming to pass. Understanding it is a different challenge. Okay. It takes a real deep understanding of consciousness to really interpret dreams. The average person, unless they do a lot of work, can't really interpret their dreams. They need to have them interpreted by someone, okay, that is actually in alignment, right? You can get in alignment, but I'm just saying, alignment is a daily practice, and it's a constant practice. If you know what alignment is, we're talking about clearing the chakras, okay? Your chakras are your energy centers. They are what help you navigate. Think of it like this, right? Emotion is not something you can buy in a store. It's not a product. It's not an object. All right. But emotion is real. It's an energy, right? Emotion is an energy. Okay. So we only operate in energy. So when someone says you don't have any chakras, when I'm explaining you have energy centers in your body, that's like saying you don't have any emotions. That's just dumb. All right. You can't go buy emotion, but when you're sad, right? When you're feeling bad. All right. When you're mad. Those are energies, right? And so your chakras they help you navigate these energies, right? And sometimes we hold these energies in different parts of our chakras, and they block divine flow. All right, they block a connection to oneness, like a bad connection on a phone. So as you feel this Neptune energy as a Andromeda starseed, right? Psychic downloads. You should be receiving a lot of psychic downloads as you feel this energy. Okay. You. It's almost, it's like sometimes when you are looking at an object, you like, I'm gonna see if I can raise that object, and you just feel like it's possible. All right, it just feels like it's possible. All right, clairvoyance. You think about a person. Anyone I think about calls me. Anyone I think about reaches out to me, or they tell me later they were going to reach out to me. All right, that is going to be very prominent during this time. Okay, this Neptune. We're talking about the Neptune direct energy. All right, this transit restores your ability to interpret the hidden architect of reality. Reality is not what you see with these two eyes. Reality becomes more apparent with your third eye. I can walk into a room and read everyone in the room, read the energy of the room, read the person of the energy of the person in the room, because I'm not looking at the reality. I do enough work that I see deeper than that. I see more meaning. And, so when you're looking at symbols, you're going to be able to interpret them more, right, during this time period. That is part of that Andromeda energy that you're receiving. As I said earlier, all of us have these different traits in us, some to a lesser degree, some to a more pronounced degree. Okay, I don't have all Andromeda energy in me because I am more of a Blu-ray. A Blu-ray is another type of starseed, but I do have some of this in me. Okay, and so it helps me as I navigate and start to understand what's going on. It's bad to have things happen to you not understand. You have no clue why they happen. Like a lot of times when people are awakened, they have a psychotic break because they're not guided. Things are not explained to them of what's going on, and so they actually lose touch with dealing with the world because they're seeing more deeply, they're understanding more deeply, they're hearing things. I was hearing things to such a degree I had to tell the universe, back off now, back off, slow down. I'm not ready. Take me easy. And you can do that. You are still in total control, right? You are still the one who has sovereignty, sole sovereignty of your journey. It's too many of us ignoring our journey and concerned with other things, but even in your journey, you have sole sovereignty of it, right? That's the most important thing in the universe is your sole sovereignty to decide how fast you want to go or how slow you want to go, all right? So let's move into that message from the Andromeda Council. And like I said earlier, each starseed has a governing council. And so I've been tapping into, someone left a comment. Hold on. Sometimes I wake up and have this awareness that I can't help it. Oh, you know what? He said sometimes, can I show this? Let me see if I can show it. Thank you for your comment. I just now saw it. Sometimes I wake up and have an awareness that I am 10 feet tall and I can feel myself looking at. Welcome. You have seen your higher self. I've had that vision myself. But it was like I was enormous. Like I was I was just huge. Looking, and I knew immediately it was my true self. That was so welcome. I get that. That is part of the journey. So thank you for sharing that. I truly appreciate that. All right. So let's go back and we're going to read the messages from the Andromeda Council that we received. Give me 1 second. Neptune's waters restore your inner sight. What once appeared chaotic and now reveals its pattern. Pay attention to your dreams. The maps you seek are unfolding. You are learning to see not with eyes, but with frequency. What is frequency? Energy. You are learning to see not with eyes, but energy. So, thus was the message from the Andromeda Council. We had a message from the Pleiadians earlier. We just finished up with the Andromedas. And so, I wanted to jump on really quickly and share this with the Conscious Collective, the Neptune direct energy. There are some other transits coming pretty quickly. Let me look them up really quick. We have last quarter moon tomorrow. Mercury enters Sagittarius and Mars enter Capricorn. Those are coming pretty quickly. So I'll be jumping on and posting those transit readings, excuse me. Right. So I hope this resonates with someone in their life journey. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Thank you for sharing earlier the message. I saw it a little bit too late, but I'm grateful for that you guys came in and tapped in with me and let me share this with you. If you want your full guidance message, click on that Patreon link. I'll have that in the description, and it'll give you the crystals, the colors, right, and the chakra that we're working with during this transit direct. Now, I decided to add that on Patreon, right? It's free. It's a free trial for those who just want to see what's going on with that, right? And you can also sign up for the Conscious Collective Community Newsletter. That link will be in the description. I want to wish everyone love and light in their journey.